Welcome to Coffee or Champagne.
Or this time we can call it espresso or prosecco, because I just came back from a 3-week excursion to Italy and we're going to do a video on how to pack for a summer trip.
It actually perfect timing because last week we got a request to do a video on what to pack for a vacation, and the timing couldn't be better since you just got back from a 3-week trip to Italy, so we can talk about what you packed.
And I will basically show you how to take your small suitcase for yourself, put your best shoes, your dress, your bags in there, and then save the big family bag for the bathing suit, the running shoes, etc. And Kim and I are going to try and find some medium ground on the hair and makeup stuff.
Yeah, because I tend to pack way too much. I think she doesn't pack enough, so we'll talk about some tips and things that you can do to pack your makeup and all your products.
We'll see how this turns out. Okay, so I've lined up exactly what I took to Italy, so please excuse the wrinkles, literally. What it's about is longevity and kind of being imaginative with what you originally would have thought of as a cute little dress now becomes a cover-up, now becomes something you put on in the morning. I only brought 4 pairs of shoes, and my running shoes, like I was mentioning, and my running clothes, bathing suits, pajamas, makeup, and hair all went into the family huge Toomey bag. So as far as my little bag, I started with, I'll work my way from the front back. The key here is dresses. That's how you're going to get your longevity, because I've showed this dress before in other videos. It's a great little piece. Almost when it's on, looks like kind of like shorts. It has pockets, a drawstring, looks great over bathing suits depending on where you're going, walking around all day, or you can dress it up like I've showed before with my heels. So I refer to my little strappy sandals, which they don't take up much room. You can see how kind of light these are, as my dressy shoes. I borrowed a pair of completely flat sort of gladiator shoes, which were my walking shoes. I am short and don't like to wear the gladiator shoes all the time, so I had wedges that are super comfortable to wear, and again, dressing up and dressing down, this works, especially in Europe. And then the only pair of shoes I brought that really had a decent heel on them were these Jimmy Choos, but it has a huge platform, so it leveled out the playing field and were very comfortable. I actually wore these through Venice. So the second piece I brought was another dress that I've spoken about before. Just a very simple sundress, but when you add in a belt, like this belt I brought, that I have on with this maxi dress, and this maxi dress I bought, you put it around the middle, it gives it a different look. You add the shoes a little bit different. Put a scarf around the neck when I was traveling. This is actually what I wore on the airplane. So I wore a scarf because when you go to Europe, you have to take a scarf. Any of the basilicas, they require women to cover their shoulders. So throwing that rolled up scarf in your bag or tying it on the side of it is key when going to Europe, because you just pop it out, put it around your shoulders, or when I was on the airplane and it started to get really cold, I wrapped it around my neck and put this on with the pair of Brooks Brothers wedges that I showed. Another dress, very simple again, looks great, completely plain, belted in with a super thick belt, gave it a completely different look depending on where we were going. If we were just walking around one of the towns, if we were walking around Lucca, I just had this on with the gladiator sandals, very comfortable. Going out to dinner, just pop a belt on for another week later. A white dress was key for summer. Just putting it on with changing the belt. When I really wanted to get dressed up, I added a python belt to give it just a fun pop. Otherwise, I was walking around with the gladiator sandals plain for daytime. A linen dress, and I've showed this one before too, with pockets. Looks great with this belt or with the belt that I have on. I brought 2 dresses that I considered my dressy dresses. Again, this one I wore out to dinner a couple times. I added the scarf a couple other days and dressed it up with the higher heels and kind of called this my dinner out dress. And then one special dress. You noticed everything I brought was pretty basic and solid so that it didn't look like I was wearing the same thing all the time. I did bring one special dress that kind of stood out. But the nice thing about this dress, one day I wore it strapless, the other day I wore it where it crossed in the back, one day I wore it where it crossed around my neck, and yet another day I put it on with this belt. So lots of different ways and versatility on this. The maxi dress, so easy, so simple, weighs nothing, rolls up anywhere. Used this as my cover up when we went to the coast. Also used it as a dress when we were at the Vatican, with the cover up around, the scarf around my neck to cover my shoulders when we went into the Basilica. And then the other three key pieces I brought: a tank top, a decent length pair of linen gray shorts. The gray shorts also work back to a shorter sleeve, not quite 3/4 sleeve, t-shirt, and a pair of white jeans, which again worked back to the tank. If my shoulders were cold, I had the scarf to keep my neck warm. Some versatility, brought it to a blue and white striped top, which also went back to the shorts, or the short sleeve shirt went back to the white jeans as well. So you can see how all this can work together. And my two big bags that I brought, when we left, I carried on this bag. It has tons of room, lots of pockets, 3 sections going. I didn't do all the books and the magazines. I did everything on my iPad. I bought everything ahead of time, put it all in here, and went with this. My wallet I exchanged for my normal wallet and carried something like this, which for nights out, I simply added the chain to it and it became a handbag. But carrying on, it was my wallet. So again, with the versatility. And then the other bag that I just rolled up and packed was this great big Dion von Furstenberg bag. And although it was my beach bag and travel bag while we were going between cities, coming back, I had so much stuff. This ended up being the bag I carried on. And I rolled up this bag, yes, rolled it up, and put it in my suitcase. And here's the scarf that I mentioned that I carried. So lots of different ways to work these pieces.
Okay, so now we're going to talk about products, makeup, tools, all that kind of stuff. So.
And I completely learned from Kim, so I'm going to go through what ideally we would bring to, what I did bring to Italy. Inside this bag, I have my makeup bag. I brought, in case of wet clothes or dirty clothes, a side bag, mini brushes that actually were compliments of Kim. All the big brushes that I have, but now just miniaturized to fit in nice and compact. And all those samples that I've been getting all year long, I bring as my what to try for moisturizers. I know I branch out, and it's not that safe, but I figured I had a hat and sunglasses, so if it didn't work out and I broke out, then I went to plan B.
So you just, hold on. So I definitely bring samples, but I bring samples of things that I know I like. So for me, I just wouldn't take a risk that, oh, I have a new face cream and I'm going to try it on vacation. That's just me. But like you said, you use the hat and sunglass method. So.
And same for perfume.
Okay.
Tried something new. When in Italy, do what Italians do. I brought a sample of Prada. I bring my little kit, and I'm not kidding. Everything I brought basically came in handy. I ended up using my sewing kit. This dress, we were in Forte dei Marmi at the coast, and I went past a bicycle rack. Of course, in Italy is everything bicycles. And one of the little side things caught onto the dress, and it tore it, I kid you not, from the bottom of my underwear all the way down to the ground. So me, sitting there with my navy blue thread and needle, fixed it. So all these little pieces fit into my bag.
Okay, so what about your shampoo, your soaps, cleansers, all that type of stuff?
Well, the cleansers I used, I took smaller containers like you did and put my cleanser in there. But as far as shampoos, I read that you should take advantage of the 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever you have, with the hotel shampoos, giving your hair a break from the constant or consistent product that you use at home. It worked for me, but I don't have a frizz issue. I mean, I have opposite that, actually.
You're lucky, because I agree with mixing it up with your shampoo and conditioner, that type of thing. But I have to, if I use hotel shampoo and conditioner, I still have to bring an extra conditioner. I've got to bring my leave-in treatment, or bring in my It's a 10, bring a deeper conditioning.
Yeah, and that would fit. I could have definitely fit that in there. The only thing, the travel size stuff I was consistent about bringing was a little hairspray. Something also to remember is if you do what Kim was saying, where you need your deep conditioner, just remember those have to be checked on, because if they're over 3 ounces, it has to go into a carry-on.
Right.
If it's under 3 ounces, it has to go in like a little Ziploc bag for carry-on.
You can bring a big bottle on if you check it in your suitcase.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you check it.
I was
Absolutely.
also going to mention these little bottles. You can get these sets at Target. You can get them at Five Below, the dollar store. And what I like to do is I put my deep conditioner, and I usually take my own shampoo anyway. Facial cleansers, I move them from the bigger bottles to these little ones. And even they have the little jars, so I put my makeup remover in there because I like a specific one. So I just bring a sample with me.
And you can even go to your local counter, whatever the counter is that you use. I'm a huge La Mer fan, but she gave me a little jar. It was empty. I came home, I put my La Mer in it. That was the one thing I did keep consistent. I tried all my new products, but I do keep my daily regimen. I'm airborne. I'm a nerd. I had to keep my vitamins going. I tried to be good about my makeup. Again, most of this stuff is from Kim. But even my toothbrush is a little compact toothbrush that pops out. I'll let Kim kind of break down the makeup situation, but even inside, she'd given me this to carry those small brushes in, and I dumped it out in the drawer and put this in my bag when we would go for day trips, and I put in the little sun stick for my kids. My foundation has SPF 15. I made sure before I left that all that was kind of covered, so I wasn't bringing big bottles of suntan lotion and what have you. So even for like eyeliner, I needed some versatility. I got this cute little Smashbox kit. It has every color in it.
That's a great idea.
So, you know, to give it a little dress up, to give it a dress down, some breath freshener and lots of Band-Aids, some lip balm, and this went in my handbag, but when I was in the hotel or in the villa, I basically kept everything in here.
Okay. Awesome. So what I love that Jill did, and I like to do this too, is she brought a neutral eyeshadow. So it's something, this one's by Smashbox, but you've got the neutral colors there. So you can wear a pink lipstick with it, you can wear a coral. So I know she brought a coral and kind of a nude, kind of pinkish brown tone lipstick.
One of the things I learned from you also was when you bring something like that, you can take one of your brushes and wet the ends and dip it into the darker smoke color and actually create your own color. So when we went out to dinner
For eyeliner?
for eyeliner,
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So one of the nights we went out, I just wet the end of my brush and kind of dabbed it in and used it underneath and lined the top of my, and I did a whole smoky effect without having to bring all my smoky stuff.
Go, girl.
Yeah.
The other thing that I think is really versatile, this is one of the Bobbi Brown shimmer bricks, and that way you can use this for blush. You can also have more versatility if you want to use part of it for eyeshadow, if you want to do some highlighting, some bronzing. You can pick the colors that you want. So this is a great idea to bring one product that can work in a bunch of different ways.
Definitely.
I see that you brought your bronzer, so that's good. I got her hooked on a matte bronzer. That way, if you want the sparkle, you can add some of this from your shimmer brick. But that way, if you need to do any contouring or warm up your neck, that type of thing, you've got the bronzer.
This came in handy. You don't think you're going to need bronzer, you're in the sun all the time, but a couple of days, way too much sun on my face and shoulders, my neck was like pure white. I was walking around and my neck, it was good to have it, definitely good to have it.
Good. So then you brought your eyeliner kit, a basic neutral eyeshadow, the blush, and 2 lip colors. Eyeliner, you brought your mascara.
My mascara was the Dior Show waterproof, not water resistant, waterproof, and throughout the day, something that kind of had its longevity. You're on a train in the morning, we went all day to Florence, came back that night, my mascara was still on. So, yeah.
And you don't have a hard time getting that one off.
No, that one is one I highly recommend. Highly recommend. Comes off with no problem at all.
Great. So I would have packed probably a little bit more in terms of the hair just because mine is a little unruly. I might have popped in a few more lip colors, that type of thing. But basically, she brought the essentials and it got her to be able to create night looks, day looks without packing too much.
Yeah, it is. I learned from the best.
So first of all, I just have to say, I can't believe you got all that stuff in that tiny little bag. So from now on, I think I'm going to try the rolling trip.
It works. It does work.
I've never done that.
You, I learned that I do need to add a few more options to give myself a little more versatility. Maybe split up that, instead of worrying about taking 2 colors like you mentioned, maybe do a little kit for my handbag that I carry on and the other one in my makeup bag that goes in my packed luggage. It'll work. See, we do find common ground.
We do. Takes a while to get there, but we did. So hopefully you found these tips and tricks helpful, and the next time you go on vacation, it will be a little bit easier to pack.
Hope so.
Thanks for watching.
Bye.
Bye.